All right, we're live. Hi, everybody. We have Michelle Hurd.
Hi,
It's a good Saturday. We've already got someone here.
Brittany.
Do you know Brittany?
I do, very well.
Oh, okay. All right, if you are just getting on, get on and say hi.
Liesl.
She's so sweet.
Yeah.
Got some big time fans here. All right. Why don't we start with introducing ourselves a little bit? Tori, you start, and then Michelle. And Tori, say your favorite book by Michelle Hurd.
Okay.
Maybe why.
Okay. So I'm Tori. I have a channel, Novel Life, or Live a Novel Life on Instagram. My first book that I've ever read by Michelle was actually back in 2021, and it was Cruel Saints. But my favorite is Owned by a Sinner. I have the paperbacks because I love these covers. But Liam is my favorite just because how he is on the inside and how he treats our female character. I don't know. He was just so swoon worthy to me. I fell in love with him immediately from the first time we saw him, and I was just taken by him.
Taken by the sinner.
He doesn't like Charlie Hunnam.
Okay. My favorite book is also Owned by a Sinner as well. I'm pretty sure I read that book in one sitting and was like, what is this goodness? Liam is a dream. Kiara, I loved her too. I think I really liked the aspect of how he didn't like to be touched too, and how unique that was. Mm-hmm. That was just a really interesting twist to it, and that made him, I don't know, a little more, left more to question, I think, of why made me want to keep reading too, because I'm like, who is this guy? What happened to him? And why is he so sweet but damaged at the same time? So it worked. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. My turn. Sorry.
What's your favorite book that you wrote?
Oh, gosh. I should have prepared for that one.
You have a lot of books. You have a ton of them.
Yes.
Oh, my word. I must say, Cruel Saints was easy. The words just flowed. Stolen by a Sinner came very easy as well. Favorite book, though? Oh, gosh. I don't. It's like asking me which child's my favorite.
None of them.
Tears of Salvation. Alexi wins.
Yeah, I think the first book that I read by you was Falcon, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was before COVID, 2019, I think.
Okay.
That Trinity. Dead Lake was my favorite.
Yeah.
I loved him. I had a soft spot for him. Which is your favorite couple?
I think I only read Falcon of that series. Which is your favorite couple, Victor and Rose? Yeah, which is your favorite?
I can't tell you yet. I haven't written Victor and Rose yet. Well, I've written one chapter. So far, so good. They might, I don't know. I always leave my favorites for last because it keeps me going. I want to get to them, instead of draining out and, the last book is actually a washout because you didn't feel it. Mm-hmm. So I always start from least to most favorite. So we'll see. Ask me that question after I've written Captured by a Sinner. It's probably going to be Victor and Rose.
So you said that Stolen by a Sinner was the easiest one for you to write, correct?
Yes. The words just wouldn't stop coming. It's also my longest one out of the series, which was, I wrote it in 5 days.
Wow.
And the words just came. Yes, no sleep, no food. It was so easy. It was really easy to write. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was the one I was most worried about. So, thank God.
Wow.
Then Luke.
That's incredible. I can't finish reading a book in 5 days sometimes. Let's see.
Now, that was pure luck.
Can we get sneak peeks about Captured by a Sinner? Got some questions.
How do I do a sneak peek? Look at the faces.
They want teasers. Yeah, wow.
I'm giving them teasers. I posted one today. Sneak peek. No, I've only written one chapter.
Okay, so there's no sneak peeks. No sneak peeks.
Yeah. All I can say is basically the book starts from Rosalie's point of view, with the attack. So the attack that we hadn't taken by a sinner, where Victor took her, it's from her point of view.
Oh.
And it's very emotional.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's very emotional from her point of view.
Awesome. So if you could, what was a book that introduced you or got you into writing romance or reading romance? Like, what are some of your original favorites?
Twilight.
Yes. Yes.
That's mine too.
I don't care what people say about it. I've read that book so many times. And it's because of that book that I wanted to start writing. So I know it's got a special place in my heart and on my shelf, the whole set. No, it was Twilight. I was obsessed with it to the point of I had to write.
Wow.
So, yes. Basically, a lot of authors give that answer. Twilight had a great impact on on the book world, I feel.
I agree.
Yeah.
So when did you try to start writing? Like, when was it a passion for you to become an author?
2009.
Wow.
I started writing. I'm actually going to dust that book off, re-edit it for like the 100th time. It's fantasy though. And then my daughter-in-law is going to help me with it, and we'll publish it together next year.
Wow.
So it's kind of like an anniversary thing, because I think next year it will be going on almost 15 years, 16 years of writing.
Wow.
So, yes, we're going to do that. But that book is live. It's not published.
So do you think you'll write Mafia again after that one? Or do you think would you ever?
Oh, that's going to be separate. No, that's going to be totally separate from my Mafia worlds. It's going to be a different name as well. So I'll probably write it under Emma Heard. It will be totally different author profile, everything. It won't be mixed in with these books. And it won't affect my Mafia books. They'll still come out next year. I've got big plans for next year. A lot of the readers are going to be very happy to hear what I have planned. 2 series will be coming out next year for Mafia.
So they'll still be Mafia. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
If they were Mafia. No, I'll be in Mafia for a while.
Good.
I won't
Okay.
be soon.
What got you like stuck in Mafia? Like, what made you choose Mafia as like your primary kind of like thing to write in romance?
The action. I love action. I'm not as much into romance as I am into action. Because I wrote the Enemies to Lovers series, which was college-y. Then it was Falcon, Mason and Lake with Trinity, which was also college romance. It was The Heirs, which was college romance. And it just became tedious. It wasn't challenging at all. Then I dusted off Predator, rewrote that, which was beautifully broken.
Oh, I love that book so much.
Yes. And then after them, I just went for Mafia. Basically, the crime world. It's because Beautifully Broken, Predator, was my bestseller before the Saint series. And you can do so much more in those worlds. They're more forgiving, fantasy way. You know, like you can create a hell of a lot more in a world, a crime world, than at a college. Yeah. Readers would say, This cannot happen in the real world. This would not happen at a college. But when it comes to organized crime, you can't say this will not happen. It's organized crime. Anything can happen. And I like that. There's no restraint. You can really just go crazy. And then again, I like killing people. So the action side. Take my patience out on the villains, kill them. I love that.
I have
really
these
love
ideas in my head of how to kill people, and I'm just going to put them in my books.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes.
We have had some questions about audiobooks. Are you ever planning on doing any audiobooks, or is that?
I did. I actually kept this announcement for this interview. I've signed with Podium Publishing. They'll be doing audiobooks for all the Sinners books.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, they're currently busy with the 4 that's published. And then obviously I do think they'll take Capture by a Sinner as well to have the whole set. The narrators have been chosen. This is so bad that I'm going to have to just go to the email quickly. Then I can tell you the narrators will be. But yes, they're currently working on it. So yes, you'll get your audiobooks for the Sinners at least.
That's amazing. Congratulations. That's exciting.
Casting.
Tori listens to a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah, I'm a big audiobook lover, so I'm so excited to listen to them when they come out again on audio. I'm
trying to think. Okay, I'm going to waste your time looking for that email. I'll make the announcement on social media who the narrators will be, but I love the voices they chose. So I'm sure you guys will like it as well. So yes, audiobooks are coming finally.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm so excited. That's a big congrats to you because Podium's really good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I do have a couple questions that some people had inputted on Instagram, and one of them was what inspired you to write the Sinner series? And I guess we could include the Saint series as well. What was your inspiration behind it?
Oh gosh. Was there anything? I just wanted action. That was the inspiration. And I wanted to write older men. So it was just basically what I wanted. I was kind of done with the 21-year-olds. I needed them to be a bit older. Although, Lucian's 23? Damien's also 23. At least Alexi was 32. I got to my 30s eventually. I just wanted to write more serious, deadly. I wanted that swoon. I wanted to swoon. So that was the inspiration behind it. I wanted to create a man that's going to make us swoon. So that was just basically it. I wanted badass.
The alpha hero. We love it.
Yes.
So for the Sinner series, I don't think I've read a mafia romance like that because you have different heads of the mafia, of different families. So you have the Russian, the Italian, all that stuff. What was where did you come up with that kind of idea? Because it's really unique. I haven't seen that before.
The priesthood.
Yes.
It's the bond, the friends bond thing. I tend to write that well. And I think it was Stephen King who said, if you write something well, just keep doing it. Don't deviate from it. So it was basically, I picked that up with The Enemies to Lovers, with Trinity Academy, with The Heirs. My readers would love the friendships more than the romance. And I think in the Saint series, it was more family than friends. And because of Dimitri and Alexi's bond being it drove them insane, I went with a wider group that had similar bond. It's basically just the friendship bond thing that I try to stick with in a criminal world. And then my men has to have some kind of honor and principle, and the priesthood kind of like helps with that.
I love that. I love that. That was such a great take to that. Now, when you wrote the Beautifully Broken series, that's like astronomically different than the other ones. So what was your take on that, and what was your readers' response to this series from you? Because I was sobbing at the end of that one. I did a new author reading blog, reading all of your books, and I read Taken by a Sinner and then Beautifully Broken right after it. And they're astronomically different, but both were just as good. So I am curious on your response from readers towards that series.
Well, Beautifully Broken was previously titled Predator, which I released in 2016. And it did so well. It was my first book to break the top 100.
Wow.
Without any advertising. I'll never forget it. It was awesome. But the feedback that I got from the readers were amazing. But after that, I had to take a break from it because it's such emotional books. And my life changed a hell of a lot in the last 5 years. So I'm sorry they had to wait. But finally finished them both. I think I finished it well. But it was more for the reason why I wrote them, because they're so much different, so vastly different from what I'm normally writing. It was basically for survivors. The healing process. I focused on the healing process just for them to have a book where it's not glorified. It is the truth. This is how it is. This is what the person goes through once they've suffered just, such a trauma. I wanted to focus on that with those books. So that's why I wrote it the way I did.
Yeah, I experienced so many different emotions while reading that. I think I couldn't even articulate what exactly, but I can see how that would trigger an emotional response in a good way. And I think that, I think more people should read that series to see how vast your writing is and how it can go from all different spectrums. But there was a little mafia laced in it, correct?
Yes, it was. Predator, which is Beautifully Broken, was promoted as organized crime.
Okay.
The first time it was published, and then the second time around, I just took it. It's still women's crime fiction, and suspense romance, more towards the crime and the healing. Once again, then the romance totally took a back seat in those books.
Yeah, I think you write caretaking really well. Really well. Does anybody else in the comments have questions? I have more, but give people a chance to ask you anything. What about you, Tori? Do you have anything else to ask?
I mean, so far mine was the audiobook. That was like my biggest question that I wanted to know was if you would have the audiobooks for that. I know you mentioned you had 2 series next year that is going to come out. Can you say anything about that, or would you rather like keep it down low?
The one I will say, I don't have a title for it yet. There's no series title for it yet, but it will be going back to St. Monarch's Academy.
Wow.
Okay. Based there. So it will be more student related in the mafia world. So I'll be exploring St. Monarch's more.
Nice.
Okay. As training. More of Damien and Winter's kind of world.
Okay.
For those who wanted more of St. Monarch's and to stay in this world, we are still staying in this world. So favorite characters will be popping in the future books.
Nice.
Okay, here's another one. Owned by a Sinner is the best caretaking. It really is.
Yes.
Okay, here's a question for you. Where should I start? Depends what you like. If you like mafia, start with Merciless Saints. If you like college romance, then start with Heartless. So Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Southern Euro series as well. I keep forgetting about them. What was that? That was more like suspense romance.
Mm.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Mackie's from South Africa too.
Yes,
Is she?
she is.
Mafia romance with a South African Euro. I did, well, no, Beautifully Broken. She's South African, the main character. But Mafia romance, do we have Mafia in South Africa? Well,
You
we
can
don't
create
have
it. You
I
can
can just
create it.
create it, hey?
Yeah.
Your world. Yep.
Just create it. When it comes to writing other nationalities, other countries for that matter, I tend to stick with what's popular. If most readers that I've found, if they don't know about a nationality or a country, they're not actually interested in it. Like the Italians and the Russians, that's like just go that way for Mafia and you set to go. Or the Irish with Liam. I mean, he was such a big hit. I tried the Turkish Mafia and it didn't actually go as well as Owned or Taken. But then again, the Greek Mafia doesn't exist. Technically, it doesn't exist. I just made it. And it did pretty well. So it's something to think about. It is something to think about. South African. It will have to be female lead. I can't see a guy being, the Mafia romance, the Euro being South African. That I won't be able to do. Not at all.
It would be so cool to have the female character be like the head of a mafia. I think that is so cool.
That'd be badass.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Winter. I loved writing her. She was really strong. So no, that will be. I don't like writing just strong or just weak females. Not weak. Damsel in distress is a much better term for it. So I always try and alternate between it to give the readers more of a variety. So there'll definitely be one, a female head, in the next series.
Ooh, I'm excited. That makes me excited. I will say that I was drawn to Taken by a Sinner because it was Greek Mafia, because I've never read anyone that created a Greek Mafia or wrote something similar, but I liked it because it was different, and I've read so many Mafia romances, so it was nice to get something different that no one has created or explored that before. So I thought that was really cool.
Thanks. No, I like to, just go out, stray out of the lines a bit.
Sure.
I mean, it's fiction. At the end of the day, it is fiction. So you can basically write any kind of mafia and just go with it. Because a lot of the readers, they tell me, Greeks don't have a mafia. And I'm like, I'm going to make one. They're going to have one. So there were a couple of readers that weren't happy with it, Greek readers, but it's fiction at the end of the day. And I wanted to write a Greek hero. I love him.
Oh, I love him too.
I just love Nicholas.
I think the stepbrother part, I was just like, I'm sold. I'm sold. He's your stepbrother. Like, let's go.
Just throw that trope in there while we're at it. Yes, no, stepbrother, that was something else. I made sure they only knew each other like 1 hour. Just to make sure,
Well, I did have some people ask about if you've ever thought about doing an extended epilogue of Owned by a Sinner. I think people want more Liam and Kiara. I mean,
I only did one extended epilogue, and that was for Trinity, and it was super hard to write. It was really hard to write. We're talking about 10 characters in one book, because I can't just do an extended epilogue for Owned by a Sinner. I'll have to do that for each of the books.
right.
And that's 10 characters in one book. it's crazy that I can't do it.
Yeah.
But they'll see more of Liam. They'll see more of the guys, at least the guys. They might see some of the women in future series. What was the hardest book you've written? Chosen by a Sinner.
So why was that?
It almost killed me. My son, literally for the first time in his life, was worried that I was not going to make the deadline. It was just so hard because of all the alphas in that book. Without breaking down Luca's character, I had to show Dimitri is an alpha, Victor is an alpha, Alexei, who's like, it's Alexei.
Mm-hmm.
So it made it so hard to write that series. Plus, Maria is such a strong woman with who her parents are. It was really, really, really hard. There was just a hell of a lot of alpha going on in that book. It was exhausting. So no, Chosen by a Sinner, hands down, hardest one I've ever written in my entire career.
Do you have a process? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tori.
I was just gonna say, going with the process, do you set your deadlines, or does like your editor or who sets them?
Amazon. The pre-order. For every pre-order you have, you've got a deadline. The manuscript has to be loaded 3 days before it goes live. So by midnight, normally on the Thursday, that's my deadline. The book has to be done by then. And I was still writing that Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was still writing. I still had to edit the book. I still had to get it loaded. I got it loaded 3 hours before the deadline.
Wow.
Yes.
You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost killed me though. So now we started with Captured by Sinner. The plot is worked out. Everything is ready to go for that book.
So how long does it normally take you to write a book? I know you said that Chosen was 5. That was Stolen. Stolen or Chosen was 5 days.
Stolen was 5 days. Chosen, I really struggled with just getting words out. It felt like I had to reread every sentence I wrote, where it was the opposite with Stolen. It just, like, when I looked again, it was 10,000 words later. So it normally, it normally takes me between comfortable writing, 8 days and 14 days. Anything before, anything like 21 days, I can't write. I'll just stare at the screen. I need to be within that 14-day period to start writing for the itch to start. Like, you need to really get going now. And then when it hits 8 days, I start stressing. Then I start writing really. The more the pressure, the faster I write. And the easier it comes. But with Chosen, it wasn't like that.
Oh, my Lord.
So that one was very rough.
What does a typical day look like for you? Like a day of writing, I should say.
I'll get up early, like super early, like 5 o'clock. Get coffee, start writing, and I'll write straight through until about 10 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah. If I do that, then I can manage my 15,000 words a day. That's what I did with Stolen by a Sinner, and it was actually relaxing writing that book. But yes, no, when I write. I just sit and I write.
So you're a full-time writer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you enjoy doing when you're not writing?
Then I binge watch Vampire Diaries or Twilight or
Yes! Okay, Damon or Stefan? Are you Damon or Stefan?
Damon.
Me too! Me too!
Damon all the way.
Yes!
I love Stefan.
I love Stefan in the beginning, but I'm on season 2 right now, and he's really working on my nerves.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'll binge watch something, or Korean dramas. I love Korean dramas. Absolutely love them. So I'll just binge watch and totally switch off. And normally that's when I start planning,
Okay.
because you get a lot of ideas. So no.
Okay.
Do you read in your free time, like read romance or any other genre?
I used to be a big reader. I actually got a ton of books. I got Crave and Crush.
Oh,
I got all of Jennifer's books.
oh, okay.
I love her books. I fell in love with Obsidian. I'm a fantasy reader.
Okay.
So yes, now I've got a bunch. I've got Zodiac Academy. I'm really, really looking forward to that
We're
one.
saying that.
Yeah, right.
A Touch of Darkness.
Oh, that one's a good one.
Unwilling by Izzy Sweet and Sean.
Oh, I love Izzy
I'm
Sweet.
not going to try your last name. Okay. So now I've got a bunch of books for the 3 months that I'm taking off that I'm just going to sit and read.
Nice.
But otherwise, J.B. Salisbury. I
Okay.
love her books. I absolutely love her books. I've got
I think
her
you recommended those to me. Isn't a wild one or something like that?
Wild North. Yes, it's
Yes,
Wild
Wild.
North. True North, and I think True North just came out literally on the 8th of August. I haven't been able to read it yet, so I'm very upset about that. Yes, True North. I'm looking at my Kindle now to actually see. I love her books. Yeah, Rebel North. Rebel North was my favorite. And I loved Wreck by her as well. But I struggle to get into books. Honestly, I do. I did read The Sweetest Oblivion, was very nice. And then I've read, I'm busy with The Shattered Altar by Nicole Fox.
Oh, okay.
I started reading, yeah, I'm on chapter 16. Oh, don't lose my place. But yes. No, it's I haven't read as much as I would like to in the past 4 years. So basically I'll get to read like 4 or 5 books a year. But I really want to pick it up again. So I've got a whole stash of fantasy books
Okay.
to start reading. Do you have a clear outline before we begin? Oh, it changes. It changes so much.
So you have an idea, right? You have an idea of the plot whenever you're going into it.
Yes, no, I do. I normally have like a plot outline document open next to the manuscript. So I'll check on it that I'm staying on track. And then normally, yeah, by chapter 10, it all changes. And then my beta readers just get panicked voice clips from me because everything I thought I was going to write is no longer, making sense, and the characters just take their own paths.
Okay.
So, yeah. No, I'll put out a rough outline, and with a rough outline, 1 sentence per chapter. And then just like what I would like to achieve with it, like Rosalie crying, chapter 1, emotions. Chapter 2, Victor's thoughts and feels of that event. And then so forth, so forth, so forth.
I like that.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
going to say. Yeah.
We've got some
So-
questions about K-drama, Korean dramas.
Recent one I've seen. I have to go into Netflix. Sorry, I don't know where Netflix is. I don't know if I've got it on my phone.
I used to watch K-dramas all the time, but now like reading takes up most of my time, so I don't have like all the time to watch TV and stuff like that. But
I almost feel like I'm cheating on books if I'm watching TV. I'm like,
yeah,
I could have finished the book by now. I could have finished the book.
K-drama is like a picture book. You still have to read, and you're getting pictures with it.
yeah,
So
because it
I
has
really
the
like it.
subtitles. Yeah.
Yes, recent ones, Goblin. I absolutely loved Goblin. I cried hard. Favorites though is Healer. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? Mr. Sunshine. I loved Parasite the movie. There's so many. Like literally, I can talk all night about K-dramas. So yes, recent one was Goblin.
Okay. How did you come up with Miss Sebastian character?
She created herself. I get that question so much. Actually, I was in hospital once. No, there was someone that inspired it. And there was a guy that he just made us all laugh, and he had his nails was done. His makeup was perfect. He could give makeup courses, and he was just kind of like Miss Sebastian. Her personality, the way she just explodes on paper. He was like that, and I just never forgot him. I'm talking, this was 20 years ago that I saw him. And so I basically based her character off him. He had a lot to do with it.
Nice.
I wish I had a name. I don't know what his name was. He just made a big impression on me.
So I have a question. If you could co-write with any author, who would you choose to co-write with?
Ashley Jade.
Oh, I love her.
I absolutely love her energy, her books. Funny enough, her books I have read. I just love her as a human being as well. So I think it would be easy to write with her. And that's saying a hell of a lot because I'm a difficult person. I'll be the first to
You
tell
are
I'm
not.
so difficult. When it comes to work, my poor beta readers, my PA, she suffered. I'm very picky, and I'm a Virgo and an introvert, and things just have to go exactly as I planned them, and I won't budge on it. Once I've set my mind on something, I won't budge on it. And that's why I haven't co-written. And Tori's gone.
She'll come back.
I'm surprised I've held this long with South Africa.
You're
being
good.
so
My phone is connected to my Mac too. So like I was getting phone calls through it and it kept clearing it out. I'm like, don't call me. Don't call me.
The air turned on and it's really loud in this room. So I had to go turn it off really quickly because I wouldn't be able to hear. Sorry.
So I don't even know what we were talking about.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, the difficult person that I am. So no, I'm super difficult. I've had authors ask me to co-write, and I had to decline for their sake because I know the type of person I am, especially if I'm working. And if I'm in the characters, I know I'm difficult. I'll be the first to admit.
Yeah, you're in the zone.
No, I don't want to ruin any relationships, so it's something I stay away from.
That makes sense. I mean, I don't think you would, but it does make sense. What is your favorite book by Ashley Jade?
Cruel Prince.
I don't know if I've read that.
Yeah, I don't think I've read that one.
I love The Words. The Words was so good.
Yeah, The Words is really good.
Oh, The Words was really good, but let me just get Ashley's books on my Kindle. Ashley Jade.
Oh, it's the Royal Hearts Academy one.
Yes. I should have just gone to Amazon. My Kindle's been acting up since they did the new thingy. At the beginning of August, where you can no longer send Mobi files to Amazon to your Kindle. Yeah, since then, because of that app thing that they did. Where's Ashley's book? Oh, maybe if I spelled it right. So Ruthless Night, Cruel Prince was my favorite. Hate Me was just as good. Broken Kingdom, oh my God. So yes, I love Ashley's books, clearly.
You're a true fan.
Yes, no, hardcore fan, but she's just an amazing person.
I met her at Book Bonanza, and I went up to her table and I was like, "You made me cry in the words." She's like, "I'm so sorry," but I was like,
She wasn't sorry.
Yeah,
We're not sorry.
Sweet. Yeah, she was really sweet though.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question too. Would you ever write an MM mafia romance?
Hell no, I wouldn't know where body parts go. No. Sorry. No, just for the sake of I don't have knowledge about it. I don't like writing about something I don't have 100% knowledge about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel I won't do it justice. I will screw it up so badly. And being a perfectionist in life, that's one of my biggest fears. So I stick with what I know for my own safety.
Right.
So now I would never, I don't think it's something I would. I mean, Miss Sebastian, I did so well though, but still, no, don't.
I understand.
No, I can never say no, never. Never say never. You don't know what the future holds, but not at this time, no.
Okay, here's another one. Do you give sneak peeks of your progress to books close to you or books to people close to you, or do you wait till they're done?
The better readers read it as I write. They read it chapter by chapter as I write. I've got a super close-knitted team of better readers. That I drive absolutely insane during my deadline period. They've got nerves of steel, these ladies. Mm-hmm. I'll give sneak peeks to my readers group sometimes when I'm not too busy and I actually remember I've got a readers group. But when I'm too busy, like with Chosen by Sinner, I hardly promoted it up to the release because of how hard it was to write the book. But like Taken by Sinner and Owned by Sinner, I think Stolen by Sinner, I gave sneak peeks in the readers group.
How many beta readers do you have?
Six.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to think of that one.
Does anybody else have any comments or questions to ask? I'll give everybody a chance.
Yeah.
I was really just curious too about who you would co-write with. I was like, that would be interesting for her to co-write with someone. And then Ashley Jade, I don't think I was expecting that.
Yeah, me neither. That's really cool.
I was thinking maybe like Sophie Lark or something like that, but that's interesting.
Sophie Lark's humor in her books. I love Sophie Lark's humor in her books. I think I read her series, Brutal Birthright. I'm so sorry, Sophie.
Yeah, that's right. It's Birthright.
Yes. I read that last year, the first one, because if I'm not mistaken, she did continue with their children. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. But I read the one where she poisons the husband at the altar with strawberries. That series.
Yeah.
And I just love her humor. She's such a funny, writer. There's a lot of humor in her books. There were so many scenes I just cracked up laughing. So now Sophie definitely up there. I would definitely consider Sophie. But Ashley, I just love it to bits.
Oh, I have a question. Would you ever do any book signings?
I am actually. I'll be in the UK for Rare next July.
Okay.
Then I'll be Rare again, Edinburgh 2024, September. And somewhere I need to squeeze in a US book signing.
Yes,
I was going to do a Polycon. Yeah, I was going to do a Polycon this year. But because of COVID and all the restrictions and all the quarantine when you land, it's a month spent, 2 months spent in quarantine. So I had to cancel because of that, but I'll definitely, I'm starting with Rare UK next July. And then
Okay.
trope. Bodyguard. I really want to do a bodyguard one. Like a
Ooh,
solid
that
one.
would be good.
That would be really good.
I just want a bodyguard one. I think I can be so hot. But yeah, I'm not clued up on tropes. I know enemies to lovers, stepbrother, your basic arranged marriage. Like I need to really go and, read up about tropes and see what's really out there to play with.
We should do a daddy one.
A what?
A daddy. Like she falls for an ex's dad. Those are so good.
I haven't considered that one. I've just dipped my toe into the age gap one with Liam and Nicholas and them being 15, 16 years older. But daddy one, I would suppose that's like a 25-year age gap. 30-year age gap. Am I right?
Yeah.
Take notes. Take notes.
Write it down.
Oh, that's something to consider. I'll definitely just push the boundaries there a little bit more. I'll just have to picture him hot with abs.
I think the more taboo, the more people like it.
Yeah, they do. I must say. From what I see out there, the books that's selling,
See?
they age gap is hard. Give it to us. Okay, I'll definitely do it. Daddy. Does she have to call him Daddy now?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't have to. That's how I differentiate it in my head. Like, okay, that's his dad. That's his dad. Yeah. They don't have to be called daddy. Okay, so what about this one? What's your favorite mafia series written by another author?
Sophie Lark's. Definitely Sophie Lark's. I haven't read a lot of mafia, to be honest. I just read because it was everywhere on TikTok last year. So I thought I'd give, see what the hype is about. And I saw what the hype was about. It was awesome. But other mafia authors, no. Like I said, I read The Sweetest Oblivion. I didn't read the other two, but The Sweetest Oblivion was good, really good. I enjoyed it. I've got nothing. I've only got Sophie Lark. So
JT Geisinger, you read her?
I haven't read her yet. I have downloaded one, Beautiful Creatures or something. So I have to read that still. So I'm just waiting to finish with my series before I read it. When I'm writing, I don't read because I don't want it to influence my writing.
Right.
A lot of authors I've heard do that. They just don't read anything in romance while they're writing.
Yes, it's just a safety net. You don't want to make that accident by accidentally you thinking you just thought up the greatest line ever. In the meantime, it's just something you just read.
Yeah.
You don't want to make that mistake, especially not now.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have one more question. What would you recommend to read? Oh, you kind of said that already, though, depending on what you like.
Yeah, it depends. But hey, taken by sinner, owned by a sinner, people really loved it. So start there.
I started with those.
Yeah, I would either say that series or the Merciless Saints series. That's a good one to start those two. Yes. If you like mafia, because I'm a mafia girl. So
yes. Yeah,
but I think if you like more emotional too, Beautifully Broken was a good balance between the suspense and, I mean, maybe not as heavy on the romance, but it was still, I loved it. I loved it.
Yes. Yeah, it all depends what you're in the mood to read, Just go read the blurbs, whichever one you like most, start with that one.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay, well, I think that's all I have for questions. If anybody else, Tori, you good or?
No, it was so fun to get to talk to you because I've been
Yeah.
reading your books and it's so cool to like hear the behind the scenes stuff too.
But thank you for having me. It was really fun. Surprisingly, I was very nervous about this.
I know you were.
So,
I'm glad
yes,
you chose to do it, though. We're happy to have you.
yes. No, thank you. It was not as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So
Yay.
maybe we'll have you next year when your other series come out.
Don't push it.
One time only.
One time.
I'm joking. No, I'm joking. No, I'd be honored to. It was fun. I really
Good.
enjoyed it. It went very fast. I mean, it's almost an hour.
Right.
It went
See?
super fast. So, no, that's good. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah,
And
you're
thank you
welcome.
for your books. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
We love your books.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here and chatting with us. Thank you to everybody in the comments as well
Yes.
for
Thank you for showing up.
for talking about everything that we love about Michelle Hurd. And make sure you read Chosen by a Sinner, which is out now. And then Captured by a Sinner is coming out next month.
12th
When is that?
September. Yes.
Okay, September
12th.
12th.
September.
Okay. All right. Well, we will see everybody later. Michelle, if you want to hang on, we'll end the broadcast and then say goodbye to you after.
Okay, 100%.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay.